All right, everybody, how you doing? I'm Captain Jack. That is Fred Kilmartin, who is working out some of the kinks of his green screen.
Yeah.
Actually, it looks like he's a Packers fan right now because, again, he is using. There you go.
Yeah.
That's what I was expecting. And welcome to tonight's not premiere edition, but reboot of the Elite Superfan show. I'm Captain Jack, the old pirate, and I'm dressed down today, and you'll find out why I'm dressed down today because I'm actually wearing something. And by the way, Fred, I didn't get a chance to talk to you in promo, but when you talk about things, I'm probably gonna I gotta have to work on the things. We're gonna have pictures up, and hopefully we'll be able to have all of the sponsors noted. So
Right.
if I screw that up, I apologize immediately, folks. We're flying by the seats of our pants. The sails are full. The wind is behind me, and we're all excited for the Elite Superfan show. And again, I'm with my co-host and great guy that he is, Fred Kilmartin of the Buffalo Bills Mafia. How you doing there, shipmate?
Hey, I'm doing great. I can't complain. Heck of a season so far for the Bills. It's 8-3 for the second time that we've 8-3 back-to-back years since 24 years now. So you really can't complain the way this team's playing. As a Bills fan, I
was gonna say I can complain about one game.
Yeah, I didn't complain much.
I can complain about one game. That's another one of those woulda, coulda, shouldas. But you and I, we'll fight about that some other time as well.
Yeah,
but again,
you'll know one thing about me, that I'm old school. So I remember the Raider Bills days of the early 80s and the 90s. So I remember those battles.
Yep. And he's kind enough not to mention the term, like, was it 53-3 or
51-3? Yeah.
I even got it right. So, yes, yep. I do remember that.
I remember that game like it was yesterday, to be quite honest with you. I think every Bills fan on that day was more than shocked at the performance that the Bills put up. And not only that, but the performance at the Raiders, because the Raiders were a stout team coming into Buffalo. So we were shocked.
Well, I mean, the immensity. And remember, Bo Jackson was hurt the week before that. And, I think we probably would have needed 3 Bo Jacksons that game.
They were hitting on. They were hitting on all cylinders. I mean, at one point, Jim Kelly actually dropped the ball. He had time to pick the thing up, and then he ended up throwing a touchdown. So, I mean, everything was just going the Bills' way that game.
Well, like I said, we won't talk about that though. We won't talk about it. Not on this show, because again, what we're going to be doing here each week, and again, thank you for being here. We're going to be here every Friday, 9 p.m. ish. Again, give us a little bit of a leeway tonight. We're behind, and our boss already said, "Hey, when you coming? When you going live, man? I'm about ready to push this." And we're like, "Yes, man. We got the boss to answer to." So again, a big shout out to the president of the Elite Superfan Group. That's Miss Tiffany Green. My favorite lady out there. So got to give her a shout out as well. And before we go around the league, Fred, like I said, I'm gonna try to do these graphics correctly. Let's have a word from our sponsors, and we'll start with it, and then see if I can get this right. We'll do that, and there we go. Of course, it's not the way I want it, but nope, that's not it either. But you can see it in the background. I'll try to improve it for next week. But go ahead there, partner. Talk about our sponsors.
Yeah, that's Tazco Toys. What they do is they make little figurines of all. If you're a huge super fan, you actually got to have one of these in your collection. They actually mimic what you look like if you're a super fan or even just a fan. They do all the teams, and they do a great job. If you go on the Elite Superfan group, you can see tons of them that people have already received, and they're prompt. They get shipped out, and they're really nice. They're a nice item to have. Even if you don't want one for yourself, they make a great gift as well.
Okay, and again, I'll clean up these graphics from next week, but again, apologies. Then we also have and of course you can't see it. Oh my God! Maybe this one will be better. There you go.
There you go. Soul-Made Performance Socks. I mean, they do a great job with these socks. And you know what? This time of year, being up in upstate New York, you can never have too many pairs of socks. But it's not just the Bills that they do. They do all the NFL teams. They do a great job. If you guys are looking for a novelty item for your team to show off your pride of your team, here's another way right here. Soul-Made Performance Socks.
Okay, and again, we'll get them squared away for next week. This one's going to be hard to see.
That's our guys down at Seasonal Sports. They're the ones that will be creating the online store for all your anti-bullying T-shirts, hoodies, and sweatshirts. They will also be doing our apparel, but they're another one of our sponsors who help us out. Any of your screen printing, embroidery, any of your needs, you can go on there, check them out, seasonalsports.com, and they'll take care of you. Tell them Fred sent you.
Yeah, well, at least the number's there. So if you have any questions, at least the number showed up this time. And since 1983, I like that year because that's when I graduated high school. Not that I'm old or anything. And I want to give 2 plugs as well to some of my favorite folks. And again, I want to make mention of the Retired Players Congress. That is Bob Grant, the president of this organization. Remember, folks, that there are players that played in the NFL a while ago, and actually they were going over terms. I think one of the guys said, and this was talking about Jabustus Russell, when Jabustus was the quarterback for the Raiders, and they said that the Jabustus Russell in one quarter made more money than these guys did in their entire lifetime of being in the NFL, okay? So having said that, when you see these older players, one of the best ways to help support them is going to Retired Players Congress, and that's I think it's playerscongress.com. Mm-hmm. Be sure to check them out. They have a bunch of stuff online, and all of the money that you pay for this NFL officially licensed merchandise, and it's also Major League Baseball and a bunch of other leagues, make sure you go to playerscongress.com. Support them because they support the older players. And one other one that I'm going to, and this probably is not going to show up very well as well. Yeah, of course it doesn't. It's Shoes for Kids. And if I took ourselves out of it, you'd be able to see it, but it's Shoes for Kids, and it's spelled SHOUS, which is correct. The number 4, and then kids is spelled KIDZ. Go to shoesforkids.com. These folks, they take lightly worn, and again, my expression is lightly worn shoes, as well as any sort of items that you want to push for them. Remember, in this time of Christmas giving, they make sure that underprivileged kids get their shoes. So go to shoesforkids.com. And again, I'll get these graphics squared away for next week. That's my fault. But hey, we get at least a couple mulligans because it's and I kept calling him Bill Kilmartin. I was like, no, he's a Buffalo Bill. But we'll get everything squared away again. But again, thank you for being here. We're going around the league, and I gotta ask there, Fred, as one of the people that has been, with the NFL for quite a while, being a Bills fan. The NFL is in the process of letting Josh Gordon play again, and yeah. I need to know your thoughts on that.
Well, my thing is this kid has he's definitely a talented football player. There's no denying that he's not talented. The fact is that he's been given several opportunities already, and he's just not cutting it with these suspensions for different drugs and stuff like that. I mean, these violations, there's several of them. But you got to look at somebody else that's in this NFL, and he wasn't even doing anything close to that, and he hasn't gotten another opportunity, and that's Kaepernick. I mean, I don't want to be the one to bring it up, but I feel that Kaepernick never got a fair share. How are we going to give this kid who keeps breaking the NFL rules, and Kaepernick has never broken a rule in the NFL? This is what I don't understand. Like I said, I know the kid makes mistakes. Maybe he's over it, but how many opportunities is the NFL going to keep giving this receiver?
Yeah, and again, I think it comes down to the point because you bring up Colin Kaepernick, and I think it comes down to Josh Gordon still has his ability, okay, and I'm not busting on Kaepernick because we're not going to get political on this at all, but a lot of people were seeing the downside of Kaepernick during his career, and I firmly believe that even though that they were giving him a chance to come back, I think it's really his ability has gone away. Remember that there are people that when they get away from the game for a certain amount of years, they just don't have what they used to have. But a certain player is here locally in the Tampa area, and I won't say who it is, but his initials start with the beginnings of the alphabet. Okay, and it's all about. And by the way, never an Oakland Raider. So never say the term Oakland Raider and that person who shall remain nameless ever. Never played it down for the Raiders, not even in practice. So I don't want to hear anybody talk about that person. But again,
he couldn't because he had feet issues and he couldn't find a helmet.
Yeah, that he couldn't find a lot of things, but it's about ability. And again, with Josh Gordon, I really firmly believe that, when you have the ability, I get it, but you know what? How many chances is the guy going to get? And what we're going to be doing is, obviously, at the end of the show, we're going to be allowing people to call in, and you can give your views on your hot button topic issues as well. You had another issue that was going on in the NFL as well.
Oh, yes. As far as Will Fuller from the Texans, he has been suspended 6 games for actually violation the same thing. So this is really kind of sad because Fuller is a great receiver. And for him to do this, I was shocked. And it's just going to hurt the Texans now because now they don't have Hopkins down there. This was actually the go-to wide receiver. So now you're going to be missing this guy for the rest of the year for the same issue.
Yeah. And again, it's a matter of all these players with the abilities, but they got to learn that they can't do stupid things and expect to be on the field. So again, it just needs to be done. And one other thing, and this isn't really NFL related, but it is a topic of issue here in football. There was a kid who played high school football in Texas. Okay. And I saw the video on it. So I'm sure a lot of other people have already seen it. And it's he had a personal foul as well as like a roughing the passer and all the other things like that. I'm thinking it's probably because it's around the time of year for playoffs. I know it is here in Florida. So it's probably a playoff game in Texas. The kid gets ejected, and in the process of getting ejected, then runs right back onto the field and just waylays the head referee.
Yep.
That threw him out of the game. And you see in the video that, the guys are trying to stop him. The coaches are trying to stop him. And this kid, if he is as talented it appears that he was a very talented kid, he's just ruined his opportunity for a scholarship at a later time. He might be one of those people that is eligible to go up to maybe Last Chance U or anything like that. But you got to remember that you got to maintain your head about you at all times for things like that.
Absolutely. Football is part emotion too, but you can't let that run over in a game, especially if it was a playoff game. Not only are you making yourself look bad, you're making your parents look bad, and you're also making the organization that you play for look bad. If you did something wrong on the field and it wasn't malicious, it was just because you were playing hard, that's one thing. But to do something like this, you got to keep your head on. You know what I mean? You can't lose your mind like this. This is going to really hurt this kid going forward, not knowing what his skill set is. But you know what? This is definitely going to hurt this kid now.
Yeah, I got you as well. And I tell you what, now this next segment, and we're going to get people caught up, the playoff picture as of today, and I'm sure that you're ready to talk about it because I'm looking at my graphic, and I see a team that I follow that's not in the playoffs. But I will say, and starting with the AFC, obviously, and I don't want to say surprising that the Steelers are where they are. I would say surprising that they're undefeated. Obviously, the Steelers with the 1 seed have not lost yet. Kansas City, and we'll have some KC folks on here later on as well. 2 seed with the 1 loss. I can't remember who they lost to. Oh, yeah, they lost to us. Okay, so
Yes, that's right.
we did play a good game there. Tennessee is the 3 seed. And then the 4 seed is Buffalo, who leads the AFC East. And again, like you said, this is like back-to-back 8-3 years.
Yes.
Now let's talk about those. No, well, first off, obviously, you feel good about those teams because again, they've showed to be the best of the AFC so far. But then you start getting to the wild cards, and this is where it gets a little bit more dicey. The Browns are also at 8-3. They're the top wild card, and again, everybody was always talking about how the Browns could never figure things out. Well, apparently this year they've at least done that. Miami is the 6th seed at 7-4, along with Indianapolis at 7-4 as well. Your thoughts on those wild card contenders there, Fred?
Well, I mean, you got to look at Miami, first of all. I mean, they're right on our heels in this AFC East. So, I mean, I'm not going to definitely not root for them. I'm definitely going to be rooting against them. But it's going to come down probably week 17. It could basically come down that the Bills keep continuing where they're going, their path. We're going to have to play Miami in Buffalo week 17. And that might be just for the division itself. But you got to look at the Colts again. That's another surprise team. They got some weapons down there now with Phillip Rivers at quarterback. That was one of the missing pieces they were missing. And then the Browns. I don't know what to make of the Browns. I know they had some injuries this year. They lost OBJ. He's gone for the year. So they're just now starting to find themselves. And you can't take nothing away from that running game they got. And going into the playoffs, if you have a defense and you got a running game like they do, they could make some noise in the playoffs.
Yeah, and again, I think the Indy with that defense is probably the better portion of that team. That they're the ones that are really winning games. It's not old man Crimea Rivers, because actually Rivers has been one that has been keeping them out of games in my estimation. Mm-hmm. And I always come down to the fact is, and I was very critical of the Colts signing Rivers. I know that he has that good rapport with Frank Reich as the coach. But you have Jacoby Brissett, who has all the ability in the world and was playing well for the Colts last year. And then you sign Rivers, and I couldn't fathom that. So, again, that's just me. Anything further on that?
I just think that it's Frank Reich's of the offense. I think that he's not really – I don't think he has a mobile quarterback, to run his offense. I think he wants that big pocket quarterback, and I think that's what Phillip Rivers fits in there.
Yeah, well – we'll see if that continues. We're going to turn to the NFC, and the Saints are the 1 seed, 9-2, with 2 wins already over another team we'll talk about as well. Obviously, leading the NFC as well as leading that division, and with 2 wins against their number 2 opponent, very important already. You got the frozen tundra Bubbas up there with Green Bay. Seattle is the 3 seed, and they're both of those, by the way, the 2 and 3 seeds are sitting at 8-3. And then we have the New York Giants.
They must have won the coin flip this year at the NFC East.
Yeah, and I actually, Fred, I got a hot button issue topic for you. Do you think that the NFL should allow a team that doesn't even have a winning record to be in the playoffs to represent their division?
I mean, it's the way the NFL is set up. I mean, the Giants have done it before where they went and won the Super Bowl as a wild card, and they finished, 9-7, I think it was. They didn't really have a winning record, but they ended up winning the division and then going on from there to win the Super Bowl to beat the Patriots.
Yeah, but at least they had a winning record, though. I mean, right. Seattle went in the one time, I think they were either 7-8-1 or 7-9 the one year that they went in, and they won their first playoff game. But still, I think that there should be rules in the NFL that if you got a team that actually has a winning record against somebody that's a division winner, I think that they should amend the rules. Maybe one of these days they will.
Well, the NFL has already talked about adding another team to the playoffs, and it's going to go based on – the players have already agreed to this, and it's going to be based on if they can get the regular season in or not. They were talking about having 8 teams from both divisions into the playoffs. So, I mean, they're tinkering with some of the things. But like you say, you do want to have the teams in the playoffs that deserve to be there, and it could rightfully so. You could actually have a team with like maybe 11-5 record not make the playoffs in the NFC.
Right. And we're getting as well to, again, the Rams are the 5 seed at 7-4. The Bucks at 7-5. And again, that's the team that is chasing down the Saints with 2 losses to the Saints, which is going to be very important. So that's actually like a 3-game swing. And Arizona is the 7 seed. Bubble teams for the AFC. Some team that I know very well, the Raiders are just on the outside looking in. The Ravens, which are come day, go day. The Patriots at 10. And because we have a Bronco on the Tonight Show, I'm going to include the Broncos at 11. I know that she will be happy that we talked about them. But the Broncos, even right now at 4-7. But the Broncos I tell you what, the Broncos are a better team than that record indicates. And I'm sure that our guests will agree with that as well. Any thoughts on those teams? I know you've played a few of them, or any thoughts on especially, us and the Patriots?
Well, yeah, I mean, we got to play the Patriots again. So that's going to be an interesting matchup, too, because it just seems like the Patriots will not go away. I mean, they're in some games and they're out some games. It's really odd to watch this team perform this year. You don't know if it's a running game, the passing game, the defense, whoever's going to win it. So, yeah, we're not going to take these guys lightly. We definitely need to beat the Patriots right now to stay ahead of the Miami Dolphins. And again, you talk about the Denver Broncos. They're another up-and-coming team that has a young quarterback. But going into this past week, they didn't have any of their quarterbacks available. And I didn't think that the NFL did it right by them. They could have probably rescheduled that, let them get a quarterback that was healthy. Instead, they picked up a wide receiver off their practice squad to come in there and play, again, the Saints, who are 9-2, and are leading right now in the NFC. So I didn't feel that was fair because of what the Bills went through with the Titans game. We didn't think we were playing the Titans. We were preparing for the Chiefs, and then all of a sudden we find out the next day, oh, by the way, you're going to continue. You're going to play the Tennessee Titans tomorrow. So the NFL, they're doing a somewhat good job to try to keep this COVID thing under control and get the schedule going. But I think they're missing a boat on a few things, and I'm not going to just pinpoint it and point and say it's one team or another that is getting favored. But I think there is some discrepancies there that they got to work on.
Yeah, and I agree. Like I said, it's COVID-20, and the NFL, in my estimation, is not being very fair in how they meter out punishment, how they figure out which games are going to be or postponed, or which games are going to be moved up, like a Raider game moved up. The only team that gets a game moved up because of a COVID issue. But again, yeah, I know I'm preaching to the choir on Raider Nation. But again, if you look at it, the Bills got screwed out of COVID games. The Raiders definitely got screwed. But then the NFL went out of its way to push back a Steelers game against the Ravens. And again, it's the has and the have-nots in my estimation. On the bubble for the NFC, obviously you got the Vikings, which are Jekyll and Hyde. They were horrible for the beginning of the year. Then they kind of got their stuff together, and they've been, horrible off and on. The Bears at 9. The Niners, which look like a mash unit, they're also at 5-6. Actually, all those teams are 5-6. And because we went to number 11, Detroit, which is already down their coach. Your thoughts on, by the way, on Matt Patricia's firing right after Thanksgiving?
I'm not surprised. I mean, I know he tried to come in because he was off from the tree of the Belichick coaching tree. But, I mean, he came in there, tried to run a hard nose. But I just didn't think that he had it in him to run that program. I mean, you got to think about it. The Detroit Lions have failed for years. They need someone that's going to go in there and change things. And I really don't think he did enough. And I wasn't surprised at all. The way the Detroit Lions have played this year, it's atrocious. And the Ford family is, they got to look out for the best interest of them. So seeing him fired, I was not shocked at all.
Okay. Yeah. And I'm going to want to make sure, if you guys will excuse me for a second, I'm going to text. We have a guest that's ready to come in, but we've also lost a guest because he was having some technical issues. Let me get him back before we go before we go further. But again, we will have 2 guests hopefully for tonight's mano a mano. And again, we will be doing this every week. We will have super fans for the Sunday night game. And again, I can go on forever. And I told them, I said, please, I will get you in as soon as I can, because I just have the issues that are going on. And Fred's good. He's very succinct, so I like that as well. But while we're waiting on our one gentleman, we are going to add to the stream. We're going to add Bronco Mary, and hopefully we will be joined real soon when he gets his stuff ready. The KC Warrior. But until we get KC Warrior in, I want to welcome Bronco Mary. And I will say this, I'm going to hopefully make her blush. I've never seen this young lady without a smile on her face. So that's the most beautiful thing about her, is that she always comes with full of enthusiasm and positivity. So again, Bronco Mary, a little bit about yourself, honey.
Well, wait, I have to pull up this one because you talked about our special little character. So I had to put her up. Well, I've lived in Colorado since 73 and have been a fan since then. Now, mind you, I was born in 71, so pretty much all my life. I've been a Bronco fan. I've loved it. I've done everything I can to do it. I was a single mom, so I didn't get to go to a lot of games or events until my daughter went to college, and then went to one game, one turned to two, turned to four, turned to six, turned to every game since, which I don't have season tickets, but I'm very thankful that I do have friends that do, and they share because they know I'm gonna represent their seed very, very well. So I just love the team, and it was an honor. In 2018, I was nominated by the Denver Broncos for the first Florida Hall of Fans competition. I found out I was one of the 6 in that when Terrell Davis knocked on my door. So I will that's the best memory ever that I can ever remember having, and I'll have that forever. I did not make it to the final, but I'm still grateful for it. And I was glad that they did put a Bronco friend that I know in last year. So that's always exciting.
Well, see, the dog is already agreeing with you that you should have been in.
Yes,
he
got to meet Terrell Davis too, and I think that's he starts barking because I think my daughter's actually walking up, so he knows or it could be a squirrel, or it could be a person from a mile away. I don't know. It could be. It definitely could be. But I appreciate you having me on the show today.
Oh yeah, for sure. And again, it's our pleasure to have you. And again, hopefully we'll have our other guests come on as well. But while we're waiting as well, I wanted to because we had a chance to talk beforehand, and I don't know if many people are aware of the one biting issue that's in around the Denver area, and you were talking to me about it. If you don't mind, please elaborate on the subject that we were talking about earlier. I'll just let you go with the headline and go with it.
Well, yeah, it's something that's kind of been going on behind the scenes in Broncos country, is the fact that now there's talk of possible transfer of ownership, which as a fan, that could be very scary. Mm-hmm. And for us, it's like when there was a trust set up, and of course, Pat Bowlen had Alzheimer's. And so this trust was set up and there's 3 trustees, and I had it up here. I was trying to look at the names. I do believe it is, I wanted to get the names right. It was Joe Ellis and then 2 attorneys. And there's been a lot of back and forth about, obviously, when you start to lose people, you get all kinds of reactions. Everyone's like, fire people, clean house, let's do this, let's do that, let's sell the team. So I had actually this morning had an interview with Troy Rink from Channel 7, and I think that's going to air this weekend, but he wanted to kind of get a perspective on from the owners and from the players, and then from another fan who said, please sell. And me, I don't want to sell. I believe that Pat Bowlen truly wanted his family to take ownership of the team, and it does. I know there's some squabbling going on right now, and I hope they can come to terms and do what's best and do what their father wished, but there's actually a pending trial in July. And until that happens, they couldn't really proceed doing a sale. But it's one of the things you think about. The only thing I can compare of is I'm in the mortgage business, and my company has been bought out before. And it's always very scary when somebody comes in, there's a new regime, they bring in all the people they know, which means they have to let go of people they know. And then other people quit because they don't want to be a part of it. And everyone who's still there, you're just kind of sitting around and you're trying to keep it down on the low because you don't want to get on anybody's radar. You don't want to lose your job. And I've got to imagine it's got to kind of feel that way too for an organization like this. You
Well,
don't
the
know.
Buffalo Bills went through the same thing in 2014 when Ralph Wilson passed away. We had no idea what was going to go on. And the problem with the Bills is that we're a smaller market. Just upstate New York, Western New York, we're up there. We're a small market. So we're in flux. We had no idea what was going to go on. We didn't know if we were going to be sold. But, thank God the Pagulas came in. They kept the team up there. They vowed to keep the team there because there was a lot of big markets that were available at the time, and we were afraid that market was going to pull from us, which was Vegas. Of course, the Raiders made that move, and then you look at Oakland, and then you look at the LA again. But as far as Denver Broncos, I think that's a big market. I don't think that anybody would move that team. I'm just saying.
You still get scared, though. You wonder. You never know. Would somebody really do that? Would they move it? Because you just said they have. They've done it in the past.
And everything's about the money. So, if you're a business owner and you buy a new business, you're going to do anything to make a profit.
Look at the Raiders. We've got Captain Jack here. You guys are Oakland, now in Vegas. So right there, it's just you don't know. So that part scares me more than anything because I can't imagine them being somewhere else. And so
I can't imagine anybody being anything but the Denver Broncos. But, you do have John Elway over there still involved with the team. So,
that was part of the thing. That was one of the things we talked about because you do hear people say they're like, fire this person, fire that person. Let's do that. And I think you hit on it too earlier. Fred, you said a couple things. Drew Lock is very, very young. And the reality is when you think about this season has not been real for anyone with COVID.
No.
Because normally as players, you need that time. How do you learn to trust a quarterback unless you're around them? You have to have the one-on-one. You can't trust him to be a leader if you can't even be in the same room with them. So this year's been different, especially for my team, but I think for everyone. Nobody gets to practice together. We didn't really have the preseason. Training camp was kind of weird in itself too. It's just normally those feeling each other out in the preseason and training camp and the mini camps, none of us got that.
Well, the thing is in the NFL, a lot of people are like, what do we need the preseason for? Too many mini camps. But now you look at the product that is out on the field now without those OTAs, without those mini camps, without the training camps, without the preseason. It's really hurting the NFL, and people aren't noticing it. But it is defensively. I've seen that more and more teams this year are putting more than 30 points on a team. And it's not because of bad defense. It's just that they didn't have that time to gel together. Which now, as a team, as the season's going along, these teams are starting to find their niche again. So the defense might step up for these teams. But yeah, the NFL really should not change anything. We should continue with the OTAs and the training camp and the preseason. I think that these NFL teams need to build that bond with each other as a team.
They have to. Otherwise, you can't learn and grow together. And then with that too is, the aspect of how, yes, my team did allow fans for some games. I know there's some teams who don't. Yep, exactly. Casey Warrior and I, we've had fans at some point. I think Kansas City still does.
Yep.
We don't now. They said no, but I did feel blessed that I got to go to 3 games. Regardless, my fan cutouts row 1 south end zone, so I look for her every week. She's right there under the T-bar, and I'm like, there I am. I'm like, right there. Right there.
Oh yeah,
but that's where too. Can I tell you guys? I'm curious. Does anyone else hate the fake crowd noise? It drives me nuts.
As long as I can hear my shout song after the Bills score, I don't care.
Okay.
I will say this, Bronco Mary, to tell you the truth, I honestly don't like for the Arrowhead being the loudest stadium in the world and all. Honestly, I don't really like the crowd noise. I mean, it's nice to have a little bit of some crowd noise with the fact that we allow some fans and everything, but also adding the artificial crowd noise on the radio. It's on the PA. It's nothing. Weird. It's weird, yes, but it's not the same.
It isn't the same because I know if you were playing me at home and it's 3rd down, they'd say, it's 3rd down, Broncos country. And we would get loud. And now that doesn't happen.
Well, Bills Mafia, we've won games just because of the fans. We don't have no home field right now. I mean, and then you got to look at the players themselves. I mean, since they played Pop Warner all the way up, they've always had fans there cheering them on. And then they're saying that you can hear more stuff now. You can hear the calls. So now you got to watch what you're saying across the line. So
right
for everyone.
Cindy Gruden. That's probably the only or not the only thing. One of the things I actually am enjoying this year is that you hear things that you wouldn't normally hear. And again, yeah, this is COVID-20, and there's going to be no other season like it. I mean, God forbid that we have to go through this again next year. Mm-hmm. I hope not.
I hope not.
But COVID-20 makes things rather unique. And again, I'm glad that first off, I'm glad that Casey Warrior came in. I saw him trying to pop in a couple times, and I was letting Bronco Mary and Fred go back in the show, and I'm texting like, dude, and he's like, I'm trying. So I will say to everybody here, it wasn't him. I'll blame it on me. I'll take.
No, you're good. You're good. I got an old ass computer, so it's all good. I'm due for an upgrade, if you know what I mean.
Christmas is right around the corner.
Right.
Yeah, or if you can wait, I think that for those specials and I don't know if we're allowed to say the big game. I don't know what the licensing is on that. If we're allowed to say, the big game that's in like early February here, they usually have specials on that too. I know they have them on TVs. Maybe you can get one on that as well. And again, we are joined by KC Warrior, and again, thank you, Miss Mary and Fred, for just keeping this show going, man. I'm just sitting here going, yeah, man, I'm just listening to this. This is great. But tell us a little bit about yourself as well, there, KC Warrior, so everybody who doesn't know you gets a chance to introduce to your wonderfulness.
So pretty much how it all started. Well, let's go back to 1993, the year Joe Montana came to Kansas City, and that was the year I became a Chiefs fan, not just because of Montana, but also because of my grandfather. He had been a diehard Chiefs fan ever since Lamar Hunt brought the team to Kansas City from Dallas back in at the end of the 1962 season. And he pretty much didn't have to preach twice, not only to me, but to his grandkids, of how to be a Chiefs fan, which is 1, be loud, and 2, always hate the Raiders. So yeah, I've been a fan pretty much all my life. And how I became the KC Warrior, well, it pretty much goes back to 2017, which was also the year that my grandfather passed away. I think it was like around early January, is probably like a week or two after my birthday, that my grandfather had died from stroke complications. And I remember the last I spoke to him, I said, hey, if by any chance you're not able to see the Chiefs win the Super Bowl, I just know that you'll like watch it through my eyes, and that was the last I spoke to him and all. But fast forward to later on in 2017, I was seeing a lot of not only Chiefs fans, but I was seeing like a lot of other fans in the NFL, like portraying as super fans, like for example, the Violator, big Raiders super fan. I can't remember who it was, but he's like a huge Seahawks fan. He was known for wearing like these big dreadlocks and having like a Seahawk head on that he was wearing. And so I decided, I wanted to like try to get into that. And so with me being a diehard wrestling fan, I've been a fan of professional wrestling since I was a kid. I was looking around, looking at some like wrestlers who were known for like painting their face, and the one that stuck to me was the Ultimate Warrior. He was known for I don't know how, but his attitude and his will to just to be the best. It really stuck to me because like, I don't know if some of you know who the Ultimate Warrior was. If you watch professional wrestling back in the late 80s and early '90s, back to around the time of Hulk Hogan, of Bret Hart, the Honky Tonk Man, and all. The Ultimate Warrior, he was known for just when his music was playing, he was known for just running towards the ring, and when he got to the ring, he would just shake the ropes and all. And I was really intrigued by that, and I just decided, I will do that. I will turn his character into a Chiefs version. And also, I have a friend, a good friend of mine from the Lake of the Ozarks, named Jamie Killam, who's a big Chiefs fan as I am, and also a big wrestling fan. He's part of the SuperFans page as well. He goes by KC Stinger. No, he's a Chiefs version of Sting the wrestler, and all. So I think it was like in late 2017. I think it was a Chiefs Raiders game that I debuted as a KC Warrior, and let's just say it's the Warriors pretty much taken off. So that's a story of how I became a fan and how the KC Warrior was born.
Well, again, you were taught well in the fact that you root loud and you hate the Raiders. So I mean, again, and I'm proud to you to say it, because again, when you're hated, that's a good thing.
Right,
that's a good thing.
It fuels the fire.
Exactly.
You're hated. That means you're being noticed.
Yeah,
What's
I
that?
was saying that if it comes out, people ask me who the team is that I hate the most, and normally it would be Kansas City, but when the Broncos are better, I would say it's the Broncos. I haven't said the Chargers in quite a while. I don't think since like Dan Fouts was quarterback, so I that's been a while, but it's always goes between Kansas City and Denver. So again, we Fred and I appreciate you guys being here and enlightening us on your being here. Again, if you heard that you guys talking in the background, I wanted to make sure, because I even brain farted this, if I'm going through comments, that I don't miss comments. So we got that here as well. Oh no, of course I got a comment section right here. Yeah, I'm stupid. So I can see all the comments now, and I didn't have to do the thing on Facebook. Again, isn't it great that we can just work out all of the kinks together?
Right.
That's a great
It's
thing.
like a big football hug.
Right.
We've got 3 of our AFC division here and the Bills. And it's awesome. It's great.
Yeah, and the Bills. And like I said, the Bills can be like in this, you're and not that you're irrelevant, Fred, but you're like the Chargers of this group, for right now. But you can play along it. There are some color different things as well. But while we got you here, and obviously all of the niceties kind of go out the window, because on Sunday night for the Sunday night game, we got Denver visiting. What's the name of that gas station that has all of the best ribs?
It's Joe's Barbecue.
Okay. We got Denver going to Joe's Barbecue. Okay. Otherwise known as Arrowhead Stadium. And I'm going to throw it out to you one at a time. And I'm sorry?
Said loudest stadium in the world, baby, COVID or not. It always will be.
And I'm gonna flip my knock on wood if you're with me button. Okay. I don't have a coin available. So heads is Mary, because Mary always has a smile on her face for the heads. Tails is warrior because again, just cuz. So I'm flipping.
Usually I'm donkey though. Usually people call me the donkey, so I'd be the tails.
Well, if you want to be the tails, I know what the flip is.
I would like to have the chance to be head for once. Please and thank you.
Okay, well, you were heads and you lost the toss. So
that's okay.
Tails up. Warrior. Why? why are the Kansas City Chiefs going to win and get to, I think, 12-1 on the year?
11-1.
11-1.
Yeah, if we win Sunday night, it'll be 11-1. Well, here's the thing. Well, obviously, we've got the best offense in the NFL. We've got the best quarterback in the NFL. We have the best coach in the NFL, who obviously is going to be going to Canton pretty soon and all. I mean, pretty much what you've seen like the last couple of weeks last week beating Tampa Bay and beating Tom Brady, who I hate so much. I'm pretty sure all of you do.
I don't even say his name, man. I just say that prima donna that plays quarterback locally.
You mean the guy that ruined Buffalo Bills football for the last 20 years? Oh,
yeah, that guy.
But yeah. As I said, we've got the best offense. We got the best quarterback. We got the best coach in the NFL. But pretty much, despite what everybody's like saying about our defense, and with the fact that like we're having like difficulty like trying to like rush the quarterback, which if I remember correctly, I don't think the Chiefs have gotten a sack. I think last two or three games and all. But bottom line is, for the last 9 or 10 games, we've had Denver's number, and considering what happened the last time we played them, I think
October 25th.
Yep, I think it was
43-6.
I think the last time we played Denver, we picked off Drew Lock. I don't know, it was like 2 or 3 times. One of them was a pick six, and Byron Pringle like running a kickoff return for a touchdown and all. So bottom line is, I believe that the Chiefs are going to just pretty much just treat this game like any other game. I mean, I will admit Denver, despite Denver's record and everything, they are still a good team. I mean, they're still young, and I've had the utmost, I will say, I have the utmost respect for Drew Lock. I actually got to meet Drew Lock for a few years ago when he was still doing his thing at the University of Missouri. I got to meet him at a Mizzou night at a Kansas City Royals game as a Warrior. So I will say Drew Lock's got a bright future ahead of him. I really believe that. But as far as this game is concerned, there's no shadow of a doubt. There's no shadow of a doubt that the Chiefs are gonna make this 11 in a row against Denver. So Bronco Mary, love you, but you're out.
Now, but before you answer that, I want to let this gentleman know that on my show on YouTube, the day before the Raiders went out to Kansas City, I had Ty Routon, otherwise known as KCX Factor, on my show. And Ty, and I love the guy. Ty's a great guy. But you would have thought that, I don't know why the Raiders are coming. You're not going to win. It's easier to get free food in a Chinese restaurant. All of these things. And my viewers are they're seething. And I'm seething too, and this was obviously the first game that we played Kansas City. So again, things happen because it's an AFC West divisional game.
Yep.
Kansas City went out to the Chargers the first or second game of the year, and they should have lost. Kansas City at home barely beat the Panthers, and they should have lost. So, and I'm prepping you for this, Mary, because I believe. I can't even say it. I believe. Hallelujah.
Any given Sunday.
Again, on any given Sunday, and again, the Denver, even though that they are 4-7.
Yes.
4-7. Yes.
4-7. They could just as easily be 7-4 or 8-3. because that's how many close games they've had. So giving that, and I tell you what, there's the tee. Here's the ball. Swing away, Mary. I want you to say why the Denver Broncos are going to come into Kansas City and surprise them and leave Patrick Mahomes wishing he didn't do one less commercial this offseason.
I like his commercials though. I gotta be real. Some of them are funny because then you get tired of the discount double check, and they switch it up a little bit. They move it around. I think one of the things people forget though, I would much rather come into any game as the underdog because there's no expectations, and then you can just surprise the heck out of somebody. Because like you did say, this is a divisional game, and we all know, especially when it comes to our division, there is such a rivalry that a lot of times, and if you've seen, there's been a lot more lower scoring games than really, really high. And one thing I do want to say is a pointer out, because Fred had mentioned earlier, like when it came to the Saints on the NFC, yes, the Saints did beat us 33-3 last week with no quarterbacks. However, they beat the Buccaneers 38-3, and they had Tom Brady. So it just goes to show you sometimes. I know. I don't want to say it again. I'm sorry. That guy.
Again, the prima donna quarterback who plays locally in Captain Jack's market.
That prima donna quarterback guy. That guy. You know the guy I'm talking about. But it's all about perspective, how you look at it. And I think a lot of people forget, though, Locke is actually from Kansas City. So I'm sure we're going to hear that like 10, 15 times on Sunday, the announcers. I don't even know who's announcing it, but it's like he grew up a Chiefs fan. That's where he's from, that area. So I think obviously us coming into Kansas City with our record, it's going to be difficult. But I do think that we have some shots to win if they don't play hero ball. I mean, Locke's got to go in. He can't compare. He's not Mahomes. He can't do it. He's got to stick to leaning on the backfield, running the ball. Our defense is pretty good. We can put the stops up, but they can't carry us the whole game. So I think really focus on the running game. We've got people, I was looking at the list. I mean, it does look like Lindsey's going to be back. We still have Melvin Gordon. Tim Patrick, a lot of people underestimate him, number 81. He's one of my favorite players. There's always Justin Simmons in there who gets the key stop plays. So I just think if we go in and we focus and we take it just as the game it is and play for that game, you don't know. We could surprise you, Mr. Warrior. Just saying. You might not get that 11-1. It could be an 11 or a 10-2. It just could be.
Like I say to every other super fan, may the best team win.
Exactly. And that's what's awesome about all this. I love the fact, it's kind of funny though, being on Facebook, on social media, and part of Elite Superfans, one of the things I love is you do get to meet other fans from other teams where we can our common ground with all of us is our love of the game, and that we can all be respectful and kind to each other. But it's funny because I do have friends where we talk about Jack and Casey Warrior talked about it too. It's usually I was brought up, you hate the Raiders. And then it was KC. It's never really the Chargers. And now you pointed that out too. And I don't know why that is. Why is it just you guys? I don't know. But it's like, I've got friends who's like, I'm getting all this Raider stuff on my feed now. It's because you're friends with everybody. Stop being nice to them. And I'm like, oh, it's all good fun.
There you go. Okay. Now, without doing the score, give me like a point breakdown of how many points or how much you think it. And again, not for gambling, because I don't do gambling either. And that's true, by the way. Why give away money when I can't control the outcome of the game? KC, and again, thank you for being here. Chiefs win by how many?
I will say this will probably be. I think this game is going to differ from how it was against when we were playing at Denver and all. But I will say Chiefs win by 17 points.
17? You're saying you're going to kick our heinies?
Hey, we've been doing that for like the last 9 games. So
well, I know. Actually, the past 10 games. I can be honest. Past 10 games, you have. I'll be real. But you never know. We could do sneak attacks. We could come in. I just hope the boys come in strong. They hit a lot of people. They maybe an interception. I'd like to see a couple interceptions, defensive plays, maybe something on the punt return. Run it in, do a little sneak, move around, you guys. I don't know. All I know is every game, especially when you're losing a lot, all you can do is go in and you just got to cheer and be happy and root them on every single play. And I don't think you can really call it. I hope it's not a blowout. I mean, if you watch a lot of these games, it seems like they're all like 0-0 or 0-3 for the first quarter, second quarter. And then it seems like once you get into second half is when somebody either pulls away or they don't. So I really hope it's not a blowout. I hope we can come in and stand our ground and play strong. I believe they can. I'm gonna wish a little Mile High Magic into Arrowhead.
In order for the Broncos to pull off a win, Mary, who do you think would be the X factor in helping the Broncos achieve that?
Oh my gosh. I really think we've got to run the ball. God. Like I said, Tim Patrick, a lot of people didn't even know who he was this year. Number 81, wide receiver. I think he was on injured reserve a little bit last year, but he's coming. He's made kind of some sneaky plays, but it is scary. I know Drew's got to really stand his ground when it comes to throwing the ball, because I think sometimes he feels that pressure in the pocket and he loses his focus. But I'm hoping, we've still got Jerry Jeudy, and actually, well, no, we don't. Now let me look at that. Is he out? He's actually questionable. Okay, take away Jeudy. Noah Fant may surprise you. He'll do his little sneak attack. Justin Simmons is always good at the blocks and catching plays to break things up. Garrett Bowles has really been proving himself this season. I don't know. We're going to see. There's so many guys. You've got the KJ Hamler. You've got Deshaun Hamilton. There's so many little money makers who could run around and sneak in and do something because you're not expecting it. But I don't know. When we started off the game last week against the Saints and Philip Lindsay caught the snap and ran the ball, I was excited. I was like, mean machine.
Hey, like I said, I'm picking for Mary. I say Denver in a squeaker. But because they're hey, there's an old saying that goes well here. Just win, baby. Just win, baby.
Well, I think sometimes you got to have a
whatever.
why. It can't be about the what. You've got to focus on the why. And it's about living in the moment and not thinking about what's going to happen next. It's about, I am here right now to play this game. And that's all I can do. I got to lay it on the field and walk away and know I gave it my best.
Well, Ron, and God, I don't want to screw up this name. Ron Igu.
Oh, he says 24-21. Thank you, Ron. Woohoo!
There you go. So again, I think Raider fans are actually rooting for Denver.
It's the only time you guys have ever root for us.
Yeah.
Well,
pretty much.
I can believe that, because obviously this pretty much goes back to the days of the old American Football League. I mean, the Chiefs and the Raiders, they've hated each other ever since. And as the old saying goes, a feeling is mutual.
All right. Well, folks, again, Casey Warrior and Mary, thank you for being here. It's been a pleasure. I'd love to have you on for more, but we actually got other games to talk about.
Okay.
But again, and that's why I brought you on, because again, I know you were in the back saying, will you shut the hell up, Captain, so we can come on. So,
nobody said that. You keep saying it about yourself.
Well, again, and it's been my pleasure. Mary and Casey Warrior, thanks for being here. Get the word out that every Friday here on the Elite fan page and all that for ESF, get the word out that we are talking all football with everybody. So hopefully we'll have more people come in and see us again. I want to thank y'all. I'm going to bust you out of here in just a minute.
Bye-bye. Thank you. Good luck.
Later.
Go Broncos!
Go Chiefs!
Go Broncos, go!
All right. Take care.
Bye-bye.
And now we can go back to my, I got to get back to my, there we go. Give me a second here. There we are. Back to the two shot. And again, I thank both Casey Warrior and Bronco Mary. It's awesome listening to them.
Yep.
And again, Fred, what's your thoughts on the game, honestly?
Well, I mean, it was funny that Warrior had said 17 points because I had picked the score to be 32-17, the Kansas City Chiefs. I just think because of that offense that they had, the way that Tyreek Hill has been involved now, I mean, their running game is starting to pick up steam too, that the Chiefs would be too much for that young team, the Broncos. Not saying that they're not going to put some points up because they will score some points. I think they'll keep it close, but I just think that the Chiefs have too much firepower on the offensive side of the ball.
Okay. And I want to remind folks that after we go over the games, there is going to be a session where you can call in to the show. I will say this, though. Y'all might know that the captain swears, but not on this show. Not on this show. So make sure you keep things at a level that is good for everybody, okay? Good for everybody. So we'll have that ready for everybody coming up real soon. And again, before we get to the games that we have, again, we talked in ad nauseum about KC and the Broncos. And you were talking about, were there any games last week that really surprised you? I know one for me, and I'm going to talk about mine.
Last week's games?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, not really. I mean, I think if you had to guess a game, I think it was the New Orleans game against the Broncos. I'm just shocked that, again, like the NFL had that game played, knowing that they had no quarterbacks on the roster. I kind of knew that they were going to lose, but I don't think any game really stood out to me. The Jets game probably against Miami, I thought the Jets would have put up a little bit more of a fight against Miami, knowing that that's in a division game. You play each other twice a year. I thought they would have put up more of a fight, but they really didn't. They rolled right over, let Miami Dolphins win that game. So,
yeah, and again, the one that hit me, and I can't say it any harder, is the big stinkeroonie, and that's being kind, that the Raiders laid on the Mercedes-Benz turf. A big piling, smoldering bunch of crap is about the best way to say it. So hopefully it won't happen again this week. Now let's go. Now we were talking about these games and in no particular order. And again, I'm only going by because I got a cheat sheet in front of me. It's nice to see what Pete Prisco has to say. I'm not necessarily going to say what his picks are, but at least it gives me an idea of which games are coming up. So only because it's in front of me and I like the way this is, we're going to start out with the Cleveland Browns at the Titans. The Titans are giving 5.5. And again, I don't gamble, but I just given the bottom line there. How do you see this game?
Well, I mean, I think the Titans are going to continue with doing what they've been doing, and that's ride their horse. I think that Henry is going to be the back that's going to carry this team. I mean, he's averaging 114.3 yards per game this season, and that's the most in the NFL. So I see them continuing this. I think it's going to be a close game, but I see the Tennessee Titans pulling this one out.
Yeah, I do as well. And again, I don't care what the point spread is. Tennessee's just a better team.
Yeah,
and they are. Again, they're playing at home. I like their coaching a hell of a lot better, with Vrabel there. They got Henry, who just, it's like trying to tackle, Earl Campbell from way back when. So, I mean, it's easy to like the Titans. And again, I see that as a win. The Browns, yeah, they're come day, go day. I know that they're trying to cling to that spot. Obviously, this is not wishful thinking for Raider fans, but I still see, the Browns going down. The Washington football team, and I think what they should do is they kind of could do like what the pop singer Prince used to do. Instead of calling them like the Washington football team, they should just have an iconic symbol and see, or the team formerly known as the Redskins, or just like the guy formerly known as Prince, and by the way, that's going to come out pretty soon. By the way, what's your bet on what their name is there, Fred?
I actually like the movie program. They had the Washington Admirals, I think it was, or the Sentinels rather, the Washington Sentinels. I kind of like that. I know it was from a movie, and I don't know if anybody bought up the rights, but I kind of like the Washington Sentinels.
Okay. Well, I think that they're going to go with an homage to the Tuskegee Airmen. I think it's going to be the Washington Red Tails.
Right. Like, yep. I heard something like that.
Yeah. And again, because there's a lot of folks from Tuskegee that either are from that area or have settled in and around DC. And I'm not saying that I would say that it again, out of political correctness, they're going to go on the other side and make sure that they have something that would be proud for all of the folks that have been racking on that name Redskin for years. Getting back to the game, oh my God, the Redskins travel to Pittsburgh. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, what can you say about a Pittsburgh team that, yeah, they're playing some, I mean, yeah, they're undefeated, but they're gonna meet competition, not this week though, but they're gonna meet competition eventually. By the way, I've even asked Pittsburgh fans, I said, you guys going undefeated? And my boy Jared says, no, we're gonna lose one, if not two. It's not gonna be this week though. I think the Steelers are gonna be too much for Washington. And I believe they pushed this game back to Tuesday because of all of the crap that they had with COVID. Am I wrong there?
It's Monday, 5:00.
Okay. Well, I knew that they pushed it back again.
Yep.
Another COVID harbinger. I obviously like Pittsburgh on this one. What say you?
Yeah, I would say I have to agree with you. Right now, Ben Roethlisberger is 4-0 against the Washington Redskins, and I think that I don't think they're going to roll the Redskins over. I mean, I think Redskins got some defensive players there. They got some young offensive players as well. Now they got Alex Smith in the mix, and he's just building on his comeback, 2020 comeback that he's having. So I think they're going to squeak it out, but I don't think that they're going to roll them over too bad. But I can see the Pittsburgh Steelers winning this and going 11-0.
Okay, well, yeah, I see it as well. And no, I'm not. I did make this up. It's obviously the next game on the list. Some team from Vegas travels east to play the New Jersey Jets. Raiders are giving 8. And again, I mean, honestly, when you have the stinker that the Raiders did, and if you looked at the Jets I think they're last. I think they're either like 29th or 30th in one cat. I think it's their defense. I know their offense is like 32nd in the league. I actually pulled the stats for my show on Tuesday, but it would be hard pressed for me to say that the Raiders can do back-to-back trips to Jersey and lose horrifically, and back-to-back games where they would even lose horrifically based upon what I saw in Atlanta last week. I mean, the Raiders have got to get their heads out of their arse, and I think that they're going to do it this game. Darnold is going to be playing, and that's going to help out the Jets. Darnold threw for I want to say it was like 285 or 300 yards last year. It's going to be cold. The Raiders don't like playing in the cold, or I should say specifically, Derek Carr doesn't like playing in the cold, but he did win in Cleveland this year. I say the Raiders, and I don't give points. I think the Raiders win.
Absolutely. I think that the Raiders they have a better organization. They're organized. They had a better head coach. And I just think the Jets, as an organization, they're a mess. I don't know if they're tanking on purpose or if it's just that Gase is that bad of a head coach that he is just ruining an organization. I think that the Jets are foolish to continue this guy. I think you need to get some continuity in there and let the guy go. But I definitely think the Raiders are going to go in there and just roll right over him.
I hope that we're both right on that one. And I'm just wondering again why Gase hasn't been fired already. But maybe we'll talk about that next week or so.
Mm-hmm.
The Jags roll into Minnesota. The Vikings are giving 10. I can't figure out Kirk Cousins. He finally wins a Monday night game, and he's done so well, and then all of a sudden they go out and they don't show up again. And obviously their offense is predicated a lot on Dalvin Cook, who I saw a lot of when he was at Florida State. Fantastic running back. They got him actually for a good price this past year, because if he would have held out, that would have really sunk the Vikings. But they get rid of Diggs, and I think you guys picked him up, right?
Absolutely.
There you go. They get rid of Diggs but they get the kid out of Louisiana State and Jefferson. So they still have some threats in there in Minnesota. And then you got the Jaguars who, I mean, I think that if it was any other year, they would be like, I don't know why that they're just not losing more, because again, they need a quarterback as well. And I kind of went over this. We actually went over this, but glossed over it this time. The fact that Trevor Lawrence has stated that he doesn't want to play in New York. I think that Jacksonville right now is the number 2 seed as far as for draft picks. I think that if they continue to lose, maybe the Jets will figure out that they're not going to be able to draft Lawrence and he'll go to Jacksonville. Again, I think that Minnesota wins this week, but again, it depends upon which Jekyll Hyde team for each team shows up.
I mean, I agree with you. I think Minnesota is the team that's going to win this one. I mean, they've won 4 of the last 5 games, after starting 1-5. But the difference maker is Delvin Cook. He is definitely the difference maker on that offense. He opens things up, and he will definitely be the difference maker again this weekend. And to touch on your Trevor Lawrence, I think the New York Jets should not pursue this kid if he's already gone on record saying he doesn't want to play for the New York Jets. I mean, he's a junior. Realistically, he could hang on for his senior year if he wanted to, and then you're going to miss altogether. But if the Jets were smart, what I would do is I would trade that first-round pick and try to get some draft capital in it, and then build around what you already have there. You have Sam Darnold, get a young running back to come in there, build up that offensive line, use it to build draft capital, and that's how you turn your team around.
I agree. I most definitely agree. The Bengals are playing Miami. I know that you guys are obviously hoping that the Bengals can come in there and be a surprise in Miami. I'm not sure what the status of Tua was. Did he play last week? I kind of missed that.
No, he didn't play. He actually has a torn ligament in his thumb, so he hasn't played. They started Ryan Fitzpatrick against the Jets. So I don't know if they actually have a small quarterback controversy brewing down there. They're not making mention, or they're just playing quarterback by committee. But I see that, Fitzpatrick's probably going to, play this game, be the starter in this game, unless something changes from now till then. But I think Miami's going to end up beating the Bengals. I don't think the Bengals have anything on offense now that they lost their young quarterback for the remainder of the year. That was a big hit to that team. But that's a team that's on the rise. Once they get everything all situated, Burrows gets back out there and he's healthy, that is a team to watch. But this weekend, it's Miami Dolphins going to have too much for them.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think that even I can go play quarterback for Miami, and I'm an old guy, and trust me, I can't. I'm an old offensive lineman that can't throw the ball. Literally, I can hand off real well, but I even think I could play quarterback. And by the way, I have had a chance to meet Ryan Fitzpatrick. What a great guy. And I like the fact that he's plug and play with the Miami. He was sitting there and he knew that eventually they were going to do it. I think they kind of did him wrong, but again, he's always ready and be there. And obviously Ryan will make that game go well for the Dolphins. Look for a Dolphins win. Sorry, I know that you guys have them breathing down your back, so you're waiting for anything. Okay, we also have the Colts at the Texans. Again, not that you have to worry about the Colts, but we do. The Texans, I think the Texans won what? They won on Thanksgiving.
4-3 right now with Romeo Crennel as the intern head coach.
Right. And boy, what a zoo that was. Again, you got Detroit that has an opening, you got Houston that has an opening. New York should have an opening. I know there's another team that has an interim head coach, if I'm not mistaken. And Lynn in Los Angeles, he's going to be gone. So again, there's a lot of turmoil coming in there as well. Houston kind of has been turning around recently, but Indy has just got way too much defense for the Texans.
Absolutely. And the Texans are another example why these NFL owners should have an actual general manager and a head coach, and not having your head coach being the general manager, because the decisions that O'Brien made really hurt that team. I mean, they let their number one wide receiver, a young wide receiver, just walk for pennies. And now, you didn't get the team to be focused and play at an NFL caliber team. And ultimately it costs you your job. So the Texans, they got to revamp that whole organization and get in a better staff. And because they got a young quarterback, they still got some defensive players. And I think they could turn it around with the right people in there.
Well, it ain't happening this week, though.
It will not happen this week.
Easy. Yeah.
Colts too much.
Yeah. Lions at the Bears. I always love to do my the Bears impersonation. The Lions are a cluster F. Chicago's not much better, but again, you thrown back to Mitchell Trubisky as your quarterback, and again, I don't foresee him being there next year. But then again, Chicago might be without Foles, and Foles can't stay on the field to save his life. Whether it's in Philly, whether it's in Jacksonville, this year in Chicago, that's a stinker game. Are the Lions going to surprise people, or is it just going to be too much Chicago?
I think it's going to be too much Chicago. I mean, they won the last 5 straight. So I think Chicago's got a better defense. And I think now that, Matt Patricia's out of the picture in Detroit, that team is probably going to try to find an identity. And you only got, 5 weeks left in the NFL. So I think they're going to continue spiraling. And I mean, at least for this week alone, because I think that the Chicago Bears have more stability in their organization and they'll be able to win this game.
Okay, I agree as well. The Saints are at the Falcons, and this is an interesting game because, again, Falcons coming off that big win in Atlanta. The Saints basically bulldozed the Falcons was like 2 weeks ago. So this is like almost like a come and go game. This one is hard to pick because, again, the Falcons could do no could do no wrong last week, and the Saints obviously. With Taysom Hill is playing a really good ball. Obviously, they got the offense in New Orleans, but they got that defense still that sacked Matt Ryan 8 times the previous game. The problem was it was in New Orleans last time, and This time it's in Atlanta.
I'm going to have to go with the Saints on this one. They've only allowed 1 offensive touchdown since week 9. So that defense is doing good things. And, I mean, I think they're going to, again, put pressure on Ryan, and they're going to end up winning this game. It's the fact that they run the ball. Even though Drew Brees is not going to be in this game, they're still going to put up plenty of points. I could see them putting 30 up against Atlanta and winning this one.
It was so hard for me. I'm going to take the Saints, but it's going to be a close one. That's, in my estimation, it's going to be close. The Giants are playing Seattle. Again, those wonderful 4-7 NFC least winning New York Giants going out to the not the frozen tundra, but the wet North Pacific West, I should say, playing Seattle. Seattle is giving 11. I mean, this one's going to be a laugher. And I'm not even sure. We were talking earlier about old boy Josh Gordon coming back. I don't think he could be reinstated. I don't think he's in any football shape, but Seattle will definitely, if and when they do get that reinstatement, they'll get some more people back to help them in their quest for, being one of the top seeds in the NFC. The Giants I think they're going to get boat raced.
Yeah, well, it's going to be tough again for the NFC East because they all got tough games this week, including the Eagles, who have to play against the Green Bay Packers, and then you have Dallas that has to play against the Ravens. So ultimately, it could come down to New York Giants still losing to the Seattle Seahawks and still holding that division lead. So I'm definitely going to take Seattle Seahawks. I think they have way too much on the offensive side of the ball with DK Metcalf and Russell Wilson. So I see the Giants losing this one.
Yeah. The Rams are playing the Cardinals. The Rams 2 weeks ago, and I picked it. I said the Rams are going to beat Tampa, and I was very happy to pick that game. But then last week they lose to the Niners. So I mean, again, this is a weird NFC West. Arizona is a really good team this year. They finally kind of figured things out with Cliff Kingsbury and Murray at the helm. But there's still a few parts away. I got to take Los Angeles being the better team here. I think that Arizona will score some points, but remember, you got that really solid Rams defense he has to play against.
And that's going to be the difference in this game. Right now, the Rams are 6-0 against the Cardinals since McVay's been there. And I think they're going to continue that again just because I think this defense is going to shut them down. And I don't think Mary's 100%. I know he's been dealing with a shoulder injury, and you could see it last week. He struggled, and I think it's going to continue again this week. And I think the Rams are going to be 7-0 against these guys.
Okay, this is a good one for you. The Pats go out to Los Angeles. And again, the Chargers can do no right. And the Patriots have been resurgent recently, and again are trying to make some noise in the NFC, trying to catch you. But they got to go past Miami first. But again, I honestly think that the Chargers aren't as horrific as their record indicates. I think playing at home, even though there's no fans there in that wonderful new stadium, I'm gonna say the Chargers finally get things going in the right direction against the Pats.
I can actually see that because here's the thing: is that the way that Lynn has been coaching, he might be coaching for his job now. So maybe this team coming at home feels comfortable, and they realize what's going on. That Anthony Lynn's job is in jeopardy, and maybe they do play hard. But then again, you got to look at this Patriots team. You don't know who's going to show up. Is Cam Newton going to show up? Is throwing the ball? Are they just going to run the ball? Is the defense going to show up? Who's going to show up? So I could actually see the Chargers winning this game by a close call.
Okay. You alluded to it earlier. Again, another NFC least team. The Eagles go to the frozen tundra, and I'm sure it is at this point. I guess it's December. I know. I'm so glad the Raiders went up there last year early because I did not want to. I wanted to see Green Bay, but I didn't want to see Green Bay when it's this cold. So I'm glad that the Raiders played them early last year. But you got an Eagles team that, again, is horrific. Carson Wentz is, it's almost like a homecoming, though, going from North Dakota State to going up there. So he's going to have some local flavor up there. But Carson Wentz can't get out of his way. And I really think that if the Eagles have any semblance of trying to salvage this season, that they need to start putting in Hurts.
Yeah, definitely. I think that this Eagles team, their identity is, they've had a lot of injuries on the receiver corps. They're not running the ball. The defense is letting up. And a lot of it is coming down to Wentz. There's a lot of pressure on Wentz right now to get this ship right. But going up against this juggernaut in the Packers, he's not going to do it. They're 11-2 at home since 2019. That's the best win percentage in the NFL right now. So they're going to definitely have their hands full. And the thing is that they're still not out of the NFC East as far as winning the division, but they're going to have their hands full this weekend. And I don't see that they have enough firepower to compete with the Packers.
2 more games to go. We have the Cowboys at the Ravens. This is just a god-awful game as far as, again, another NFC least game. Baltimore is coming off that game that they had with the Steelers, and I did pronounce that correctly, Steelers. They showed some life. I'm pretty sure that Jackson will be back for this game. You would hope, although the kid McSorley played pretty well for just being thrown into the mix. I know he played out of Penn State, so I know it was a good game for him to kind of play in front of the home crowd when he went back that area. But, I think that the Ravens are going to be too much for the Cowboys. I know that Andy Dalton played better when he came back. Thank God they at least got Dalton back. And Cooper is off again, on again. I know about that for him being a Raider. He'll play 1 game and he'll disappear for 2. I know that they got a really good receiver in CeeDee Lamb, but I think it's just going to be too much Ravens.
Yeah, I have to agree with you there. But, you can't overlook Andy Dalton because he is familiar with this Ravens team because he faced them twice a year. So, I mean, you got to take that into account. And then you got to look at this, too, is that this is another off-week game for this team. They played Wednesday. The Ravens played on Wednesday. Now they're playing on Tuesday night football. So, I mean, it's kind of a messed up schedule that they're dealing with right now. Hopefully Jackson Lamar is going to be back there. But I thought they showed some character and some heart against the Steelers. The Steelers didn't push this team around. They fought back, and they were fighting the whole way through. So they might have exploited the Steelers a little bit, showed a little bit how to beat them because they were definitely putting up some points against them, and they weren't giving up. But I think the Dallas Cowboys are they're having some of their own issues down there. And so I can see the Ravens winning this one.
And no, that wasn't a sneeze directed at you, Fred. It's one of those doubles that I had to keep in. And it just so happened that we're going to talk about the Buffalo Bills that are playing the Niners in Arizona. So, yeah. I mean, no, there's no home field advantage for the Niners because they're playing in Arizona. I don't know if there's going to be fans at the game anyway. I would imagine that Buffalo, whose fans travel well, if there are tickets available for this game, and I honestly don't know, you can probably tell me that probably there'll be Bills fans that will out-season whatever 49er fans go.
Yeah, there's a lot of Bills fans, Bills Mafia down in Arizona, so I can definitely see some Bills fans there supporting their team. But the fact is that the Buffalo Bills, they've lost 4 Monday night games on record right now. We haven't won a Monday night football game in years, so this is going to be a big challenge for them playing against this 49ers banged-up team. But you know what? It is prime time. The Bills seem to be doing good against prime time on primetime games. They did last year. So I'm hoping that we finally win a Monday night football game and knock off the Steelers. But if we do it, it's probably going to be a close game.
Okay. Well, I want to make sure, and I'm looking at the chat line, okay? And Veronica Yim, who I'm pretty sure is a Niners fan based upon her comments. And I'm sure she probably, according to this, there are plenty of faithfuls in Arizona. So we're going to open up the phone lines here as well. If you want to call in to the show and give some of your insight, if you have a question that you want to hear, make sure that you have it ready for us. The number is 813-699-0834, 813-699-0834. I'm going to make sure I have it up so people can hear it. I'd love to hear from everybody. I'm going to go back into the comments section. Veronica, I definitely would love to hear from you. Michael Givens is talking about his Eagles. Veronica says that there's still a huge following in Arizona. I'd love to hear from her. Doran Shearbaum, Chiefs all the way. And see if there's anything else. Tim Purchase, we're talking about his Browns. Browns will win like they beat the Bengals. Okay, we'll see about that. Again, Miles is back. Okay, that's Miles Garrett. So Tim's obviously a Browns fan. The boss is in here. Hey, Tiffany, good to see you here. We're here. We did the show. We were a little late, but we're here there, Tiffany, making sure you're there. And Ron, is it Igao? I can't pronounce your name, Ron. I apologize, partner. You're one of my peeps as well. So you did that as well. Mary, and again, Mary was here in the chat. Love to see. Great to see Mary here as well. See if there's anybody else. Hollywood was in here. Demon King was in here as well. Chris Coates was in here. So again, if you want to talk about any game, you want to get some opinions from us, don't be shy. The line is open, 813-699-0834, 813-699-0834. So shame on you if you're not calling in. While we're here, and I got a chance to do this, and again, I wanted to make sure, yes, my Google is up. So, yes, it is working. So let's hopefully hear from anybody as well. And, again, we've gone over all of the games, and there's really nothing more to talk about other than, I really think that the Bills, it's going to be an interesting game. And I think, though, but playing, and again, there's been times where teams have played out of their stadiums. I remember, I think the Chargers played out in Arizona one year because of the wildfires that were in the San Diego area. And that was obviously when the Chargers were playing in San Diego at the Murph. But it's good to see that Arizona was ready to have the game available as well. And again, thanks for everybody. Please give us a call, because you don't want to hear me talk anymore. I'd rather hear from you.
Yeah, actually, the Bills had to play in Detroit one year. I think it was 2015, maybe. I'm not positive. I can't remember off the top of my head. But we had a blizzard up in Buffalo, and the Detroit Lions against the Jets opened up their stadium for us to go and play the Jets.
There you go. So it's been done. I know you guys have also. Whatever happened to the Bills playing their games, like 1 or 2 games up in Canada?
Oh, please. That was a nightmare. That was the worst thing that we could have ever done, was try to play games up there. There was no fan base that went up there. Whatever team was there, that was their teams that came and supported them. It was just horrible. I think we won 1 game out of the 4 years that we did it. We never continued the 5-year plan that we did up there.
Okay. Well, again, it makes more sense though than and I'm going to go baseball here. It makes more sense than the Tampa Bay Rays having a split season where they're going to play half their games in Montreal and the other half down here. I mean, and again, baseball, stupid. I can at least see Buffalo doing that because there's a following up there. But my God, that makes no sense at all.
Well, then you're taking away from the home field. You know what I mean? You're taking away the revenue from the football field. It's kind of hard. Well, this past year, the Toronto Blue Jays played in Buffalo.
Right. But that's obviously out of COVID because of COVID.
Yep, they couldn't travel across Canada borders.
Yeah. Yep. Did you see any games?
No, I didn't. No, I didn't go up there.
Oh, yeah, that's right. There were no fans. I'm stupid.
Yeah, no, there's no fans allowed in New York at any sporting event. Yeah. Thanks, Governor Cuomo.
Yeah. Thanks, Gov. Appreciate you on that. Remember, the line is open, 813-699-0834. If you are here now, and we still got some viewers, if you're ready to call, give me a comment in the comment line. If not, then I'm gonna go and go find something. I wish I could eat. I actually had salad again tonight. I'm on a diet, and I hate it. I hate it, man. Lots of protein, but it's a salad. Let's see what else. Okay. Hey, Oscar Toledo from his wonderful cartoon characters and whatnot. Good to see you in here. Good. He says hello to everybody. Oscar can give out his information as well. Good to see him in here. Again, if you want to call in, the number is 813-699-0834. Veronica, you better call in. You're talking a lot of stuff. Being one of the faithful. Let's get you on the screen talking about your Niners. Yeah, Bocadillos, yeah, for sure. And my Bocadillo came out pretty cool. That's why it actually, you can see it here. I used that for my patch design. So
Nice.
Again, that's because that's a Bocadillo cartoon figure as well. I think he did it. He made me look good. And that's hard to make this old man look good. So go get your Bocadillos while you're here. And again, thanks for that as well. 813-699-0834. If anybody is waiting, give me a ring up. Trust me. And I'm gonna keep it open for about another 4 minutes. So again, it's about a little less than quarter. Thank you there, Veronica. Oh, you see, Veronica's. Hey, I appreciate that. Well, he said Veronica's saying that the Bocadillo character is handsome. I know you're not talking about me. I know that the patch was handsome. So there you go. Definitely so. Again, we'll see if we got any people that are calling in. Again, this is not the premiere, but it's the reboot. And I want to again thank my boy Fred Kilmartin. That this is the longest we've had a chance to do some interaction. And again, what a great thing to have as somebody that's very knowledgeable. And I just sit and I pretend like I know. I do know a lot of things, but Fred's up there just throwing those stats out, man. I love that. I love somebody who has the stats right on hand. But again, we're going to be doing this every Friday. Knock wood here. Let me get some wood out here. I don't know if you guys can hear that or not, but that is real wood. So again, Oh, well, Veronica. Well, Veronica, I'm sure loves the patch. By the way, the patches are available. A shameless plug. While we are here and we're waiting on a call, Fred, is there anything that you are doing in addition to this that you'd like to make sure you give a promotional plug that's awesome?
Yeah, I actually am a co-host for the Cold Front Report, Buffalo Bills news and updates. You can follow us on our page on Twitter and on Instagram for any of your Bills news and updates right out of Buffalo. You can follow us.
There you go.
We do a weekly post-game show after every Bills game.
Well, there you go. And I think Veronica? Veronica will call in to that one because that'll be in direct response to the game with the Niners. Oh, yeah. Veronica lives in Oakland. Oh, well, where were you when I was out in Oakland, Veronica? She says she's diehard faithful in Oakland. Well, you'll have to come out. You'll have to come out and meet me sometime. Go to Vegas when post COVID because I haven't been out of my house almost. And I'm being facetious here, but basically I've been in my house since late March, which is why I haven't left to go anywhere other than the general area around me. So you're near so you're near Kezar. She said the old Raiders Stadium. So I'm sure that you're near Kezar. You'll have to show me that, Veronica. Yeah. And it's good having you here on the comments section. Again, we are here every Friday, myself and Fred, and we will have on we'll make sure we get fans from whoever the Sunday night games are on for this. But again, I enjoy this. Yeah, the Bay Area is on lockdown. My best to you as well, Veronica, on that. Again, living through COVID-20, it's definitely not a night. It's definitely not a good year. Fred, what are the things up there? And again, you're talking about Governor Cuomo. What have you had to deal with in New York?
Well, there's a lot of things you can't deal with up here. We're mandated to wear a mask wherever we go. If you go to a restaurant, whatever, you have to wear a mask in there. If you get up from the table, you'd have to wear a mask. Any stores that you go to, you got to wear a mask. So we're trying to social distance ourselves and only hang with certain family members. I mean, not certain, but hang with our family members and try to keep our circles small just because of our COVID numbers have increased a little bit up here. And, just dealing with this all together with no, being able to go to any of the sporting events, being able to go to youth hockey or youth football games. It's affected the way of living up here.
Yeah. What are they saying about the NHL returning up there in Buffalo as well?
I believe it's still a go because the NBA is still a go. They're going to continue their bubble like they did. They got their seasons in. So I think that everything's going to be good to go. You're probably still not going to see fans there, but you're still going to have the games being played.
Okay. And now, I got to ask because Tiffany and I were kind of doing some back and forth with you on hockey. You're in Buffalo.
I am actually 3 hours from Buffalo. I am 35 minutes east of Syracuse.
Okay.
So I am a New York Rangers fan.
And I was going to ask about that.
Yeah.
Again, now
I'll root for the Sabres, but I've always been a diehard Ranger fan.
Okay, and again, that's why. And I was going like 1940.
Oh, it's in 1994 when we won the Stanley Cup against Vancouver. So
yeah,
Messier actually guaranteed Game 7 to win. So that was my highlight. We haven't been back since.
Yeah, I always said, but that has a better ring to it than 1994. Or, 1940 has a better ring.
Right. No, I root for the local. I go to Sabre games. I love watching the Sabres play. I love being at the facility. I just like being up there. Plus, it's only 3 hours from my house to where when I go to New York for the Ranger games, it's like 4.5. And then with the driving and parking down, it's like 5 hours. So, yeah. But I'm also a Rangers fan or a Yankees fan as well. So I didn't know if Tiffany told you that. And a big Syracuse Orangeman fan, basketball. So we got the college basketball finally going now too. So that's a positive again for the COVID thing that's going on. The NCAA has basketball going now. So
right, and Jim Boeheim's still up there coaching.
Oh yeah, yep. His son is actually on the team as well.
Yeah, I was now, but weren't they saying this is going to be like close to his last year, or is he just going to like hang out until his son graduates?
I mean, I definitely think he's going to stay there until his son graduates, but he's been saying it for years that he's still there.
You got it. Well, folks, because nobody wants to call and talk to me, and I take that as a personal affront because, again, Fred's very talk toable. I know that's not a real word, but I want to again thank Fred, and again, make sure you hit him up on do those things again, Fred, that you are going to be doing as well.
The Cold Front Report. You can follow us on Instagram, follow us on Twitter, and on our Facebook page. It's Cold Front Report, Buffalo Bills news and updates.
Okay, and I'm going to give a bunch of shameless plugs because why not? If you want to get some great sports entertainment, make sure you are following me on my YouTube page. That's Captain Jack Rackham Levy. I do YouTube shows, every Sunday, on Tuesday, on Thursday. Again, Raiders centric, but not always about the Raiders. I allow people to call in. That's why I know what my number is without looking at it because I have it memorized. I allow people to call into the shows. So if you're here watching the show right now, again, hit the Captain Jack shows on YouTube. That's Captain Jack Rackham Levy on YouTube. And I will say this as well, and I'm very excited to be a part of this. I am one of the, and only because I was told by the guy who actually runs this, I am one of the premier color casters for the brand new Apple app. Okay. So if you are a fan of your team, okay, and you are sick and tired of listening to people that really have no clue what's going on when it comes to your team, if you are an Apple user, make sure you go over to the Colorcast app on Apple. And if you're a Raider fan and you're not listening to me broadcast the game, you're 100% wrong, okay? Because you got people like Mark Schlereth, who's a Raider hater. You got people like the guy that was the quarterback, and you have Al Michaels, who's the super duper Raider hater that did the Sunday night shows. So again, if you are a Raider fan, make sure you're listening to me on Colorcast, and that app is getting a lot of good usage out of it. Find it in the Apple Store. It's Colorcast, and you'll see me there as the premier broadcaster for Raider games. And that's it. But again, if you think you have the chops to be a color commentator, that's where you need to go. So again, hit Captain Jack Rackham Levy on YouTube. I have shows many nights, not tonight because I get a chance to do this with Fred. And we'll be here on every Friday. And again, I saw Mike Gibbons says that this needs to be shown in the off season. Mike, I gotta have some time off, man. I do. I gotta have some. We'll get with the boss, Tiffany. We'll make sure that we have shows that we will continue to have. So we'll have some things to talk about during the off season. So again, I want to thank you for being there. I want to thank Fred. And we're going to go through our sponsors one more time because, again, I wouldn't want to give them short shrift. And I'm going to work on these so that you can see them next time. Go ahead, Fred, and talk about our wonderful sponsors.
Yep, that's Tazco Toys. They got custom figurines created for all fans and NFL super fans. They do a great job. They're little figurines. Be sure to, if you're a big fan of the NFL, get a figure made of yourself or buy it for a gift. They make great gifts as well.
I'll have to look at those. I got a few of the other ones that were made. I'll have to look for. I see whoever can make me look prettier. We'll get that done for sure. And we're going to do this one because this one you can actually see the manufacturer. Go ahead.
Yeah, that's Soul Made Performance Socks. He does all the NFL teams, and they're comfortable, and they make great gifts. And this time of year, being cold, you can never have too many pairs of socks.
Yeah, and I don't like being cold. That's why I live in Florida. So there you go. One final one for you as well there, Fred.
Yeah, this is a friend of mine. He owns the Seasonal Sports, and he's going to be doing all the apparel. He does an online store for the elite super fans right now where you can order all your anti-bullying T-shirts, hoodies, and hats. So be sure to check out Seasonal Sports for any of your embroidery and your screen printing needs.
And by the way, folks, like I said, these graphics were hot and they were great to read, but you couldn't see it. And I tried to, if I backed this out, you wouldn't be able to hear us. So that's the only reason why, you have to listen to this. So yeah, we'll get it squared away for next week. Now, again, some things as well. Retired Players Congress. I want to show you, I'm actually wearing a Retired Players Congress shirt. When football was football, this is on their website, and they have a whole slew of different t-shirts. Again, when you go to playerscongress.com, you can go and get some of these t-shirts, and again, support the NFL players that didn't make millions and millions and millions of dollars. You can go support them by getting your products with Retired Players Congress. That's playerscongress.com. Go get yourself one of these t-shirts. You kind of look thin, And the final one today as well is, again, and I'm sorry, but my personal friend, great guy, Jerry Robinson, is president of the board of directors of Shoes for Kids. Again, this time of year, you can help out some underprivileged kids by either sending donations their way or, and I use this term, it's definitive, lightly used shoes. Don't get a pair of nasty sneakers, throw them in a box and send it to them. That's just not going to do anybody any good. But if you have shoes that got some good tread on them, you can send them to Shoes for Kids. And again, it's shoes spelled correctly, SHOES, the number 4, and then kids spelled KID with a Z, shoesforkids.com. Tell them Captain Jack sent you. And again, what a great way to be charitable this time of year. Let's go back to the 2-shot. There we go. Fred, final words for you on the way out.
Well, hey, the playoffs are almost upon us, so keep rooting for your team. Hopefully they can go far in the playoffs. I'm hoping the Bills can do the same thing, but I want that victory on Monday night.
And again, hopefully we'll hear from, remember, Veronica, I want to hear from you on my show. Remember, 49er Faithful is welcome. And again, go and call in to Fred's show. So again, get with Fred, and then you can find out when his show's on, and then you can call into my show so you can do 2 appearances on one night. That would be great. We want to hear from you. Again, Mike Givens has been in here again. Oscar, make sure you send your information to Tiffany so we can get you on here as well, because we definitely want to support Boca Dios. And for all of the other people that were here, I saw Demon King, I saw Hollywood in here. Again, our special thanks to Mary Brennan of the Broncos, along with Casey Rader. And I'm trying to remember what the gentleman's real name is. That's why I said, Zachariah Partney. Thanks again to Casey Warrior. Casey Rader? Casey Warrior. But I got Raiders on the mind. Again, thanks again for joining us. Be here next Friday again. Captain Jack and Buffalo Fred. I hope you like that. I figured
I love it.
Like that.
Anything with Buffalo makes me happy.
There you go. Buffalo Fred.
Wins. That's awesome to hear.
Yay. As long as you're there and you're winning.
That's
you guys
right.
take care. We'll see you next Friday as well. Thanks for being here on the Elite Superfan Network and the Elite Superfan Show.